6:30. Call the meeting to order. If everybody could say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Wow, that's different. Roll call.
All right. 1 second, I gotta get to that page. All right, Mr. Hamill.
Mr. Hamill's here in Highland.
Clerk Flowers is here in Highland. Mrs. Frederick.
Frederick is here in Highland.
Mrs. Cooper is absent. She's not feeling well today. Mr. Howe.
Mr. Howe is here in Highland.
Mrs. Lewis.
Mrs. Lewis is also here in Highland.
Mr. Salvia.
Salvia, Highland.
Okay, we're all set.
Okay, first item is somebody like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda, Salvia.
Support, Howe.
Moved and supported. Vote, please.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mrs. Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia.
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Hamill.
Mr. Hamill, yes.
Sorry, I forgot the Howe at the beginning. Howe, yes.
That's all right.
So next item is, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'd like to move that we pass the consent agenda as presented.
Support, Lewis.
Okay, moved and supported. Vote, please.
Mrs. Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia.
Joe.
Where'd he go? Did he fall off?
Frozen.
I don't see him.
Yeah,
I don't even see him on my screen.
He's there. Joe. No.
There he goes. He locked up.
Okay, we're back.
all right, well, we'll have to,
We'll take his vote when he comes back. Mrs. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe.
Howe, yes.
Mr. Hamill.
Hamill, yes.
All right. Is he back yet?
Can I ask a question to the chief?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll wait for Joe to maybe pop back on here.
Hey, Ken,
Yes, sir.
I see Dan Ignani is on here for the probationary firefighters. I teach with Dan.
Yes.
So is he leaving? Can I ask, is he leaving Heartland or is he working for both or how does that work?
He's working for both. Heartland doesn't run any advanced life support, and he wants to use his newly found skills after the summer. He's officially a
Oh.
licensed paramedic. So
He's a great guy. He's
a
never,
very good
always,
guy.
always smiling. So, okay, good. Good to know. I'll tell him
I think
tomorrow.
it's tattooed on. I'm not sure it's really a smile. I don't think.
There is. He's a funny guy. So, okay, cool.
All right, is Joe, are you back or not?
No.
You know where Joe lives? He's kind of out in, out there. So maybe he's just,
Yeah, in the place that has all the money but no internet connection. All right, well, we're gonna have to move on. We've got enough for a forum. Next item, announcements and information. The Board of Trustees,
yeah.
is he back? Nope, that's Walt. The Board of Trustees meeting scheduled for November 1st has been moved to November 8th. That's due to the fact that we're gonna have an election on the 2nd, isn't it? The 2nd, yeah. And it's a little bit of too much work, I think, for the clerk to try and do. So the farmer's market this Saturday, I think that's going to be the last one, 9 a.m. through noon. And anybody else have anything they want to add to the list there?
I'd like to add something a little bit different, but I'd like to, as we always do, we're doing our veterans ceremony again at Lakeland on the 9th.
Missy,
And
join the meeting.
anybody like to attend, we'd love to have you. If you know anybody who's a veteran, if you're interested, let me know and I'll get you the information. And So anybody, you know, on here like to, you know, if you are a veteran, we'd love to have you come. It's a great ceremony and you have to wear a mask because you're in the building. Other than that, it's a great time. So cheers, Joe. So anyways, on the 9th of November, if you're interested, just contact me and I'll get you the information.
All right.
We're having a coffee, Business Association is having a coffee at the Township Hall tomorrow morning at 8:30.
I lost my internet for a minute, so I'm back.
All right. Well, we had to move on with it. So,
You've been impeached, Joe. You didn't know it. Sorry.
Can we take his vote now or what? I don't know what's the right thing to do.
What was the vote, please?
So this was on the consent agenda.
Consent agenda.
I approve the consent agenda.
Okay.
all right, good. Well, we'll take that down.
Okay.
All right, next item is a presentation. And I'm not sure who is going to be here to do that and how we're going to do that. So who's the person that's supposedly going to be presenting this?
So we have, I see Chuck Sharp is on. I don't know who's on that phone number.
The phone number is Missy.
Oh, there's Al. They're here too. Al, are you going to be talking or is Chuck?
We're gonna have Chuck do it, please.
Chuck's going to do it. Chuck, you got to unmute. Chuck, need help unmuting. There you go.
There, I'm on mute.
Yes, sir.
Tammy, I got unmuted.
You're good.
Okay, so Chuck, you get the role here on this thing. So I don't know how you're going to go about this. This would have been nicer if we could have been, if we were meeting in person, but it's still a great idea.
In the
So,
I'll give you a real quick rundown on it, Rick.
okay.
Back when we first started the Coin Club, it was the next year that Highland celebrated its turquoise centennial. That's 175 years. And we made a elongated cent for that event and distributed it throughout the township and anybody that wanted one. There's still a couple in our treasury. If somebody does want one, just give me a holler. Anyway, in a discussion with Gene Beach, we were talking about the railroad, and he says, well, in September it got to Milford, and in October it got to Highland. I said, what year? He said 1871. Well, that's pretty quick figuring. It says 150 years. So we made a elongated design stating October 71, the first locomotive to reach Highland. And I'm going to try to hold it up. And I guess that's the best I can do. It's in 1 cent, 5 cent, and 25 cent denominations. And we're going to be over tomorrow morning to see Tammy and give her a handful of those for distribution to you and the other 6 members of the board and the fire chief and Lieutenant Snyder, who have done us some favors over the time period. Otherwise, they're available. They're over at the Highland Coin Shop on M59 at Chum's Corner or whatever. What's the name of that corner? With a used to be a hardware store in there and auto parts. Anyway, they're available there and or from any member of the Huron Valley Coin Club.
Hey, Chuck, question. Does that
That's
elongated coin cost by the first train that ran over the penny on the track or something?
That's a good one. That's a good one. No, it was run over by a Jeep.
Okay, all right.
I think you were driving it.
Well, we used to put pennies
Okay.
on the railroad track, so, okay.
Did it ever work?
Oh, yeah, I remember that, but it wouldn't have flattened them out like this.
Yeah,
The quarters are all the ones that were the Michigan 1904 state quarters, 2004, the state quarters. So every one of the quarters that we elongated are of that style and denomination. You can determine that by looking at the back and you can see the flattened diagram of Michigan.
All right.
Any questions?
I'd like a quarter for sure.
Okay, I'll
I think
sign
those are
off. Thanks,
Those are
Rick.
really cool.
All right, thank you, Chuck. And
Tammy, save me a
really
quarter.
I think there's plenty for everybody.
Okay, yeah, that's really cool.
So he's gonna bring them by and then I'll put them in your mailbox.
Okay,
So anytime you can come by.
thank you. Thank you very much, Chuck. That's really cool. And
All
Al,
right. Next item is public comment. Have any public comment?
I have a quick comment. My internet continues to be unstable, so if I fall off, I'll try to find another source, but,
Okay, don't get hurt.
okay, thank you.
Robert D'Ambrosi would like to make a comment as well. He just can't raise his hand.
Okay, go ahead.
Rose, it says no, sorry.
get on mute, Rose.
Or Robert, whichever
There we
one.
go. No, gosh, Robert looks really good then. So tonight I'm gonna talk, Rosie and Rosie from Highland. I am talking to you from one of my organizations that's near and dear to my heart. It's the Huron Valley Youth Assistance Program. We cover the Huron Valley school system for children in need, and this can be financial, emotional, or behavioral. Our main focus where our funds go is mentoring, vape, anti-vape programs, and scholarship. And the scholarships can cover anything from, for example, band instruments that, you know, somebody might not be able to afford to rent. We would cover something like that. There's some scholarship opportunities available. For example, at Lakeland, they do I believe it's called, and Brian, you can correct me, I think it's called Communications Camp, where they have a weekend where they get kids together and it's a self-help group. And so they like to try to have all the different kids covered. And when you have 20% of your school that's, you know, low income and they can't afford the price of the camp, we try to kick in with scholarships. The point of me being here tonight is, first of all, I want to thank Highland for supporting us, because we do cover all of Highland, all of Milford Township, all of the village of Milford. We also cover part of White Lake and part of Commerce. I think I got everybody. Yeah. We do receive monetary support from most of our municipalities. And thankfully, Highland is always there with their donation and their support right away. It usually goes, what we always ask for is a percentage. So like if most of the kids that we're helping come from Highland, we would give you a number that says, hey, this is what we're, you know, our cost this year. Highland always goes above and beyond, which is very helpful. We do like to have representation from all of the different cities and townships. We used to have one from Highland until the election, and that changed when she retired. She retired from all her groups. So we don't have any, except for myself, but I'm not an official member. We have the supervisor from Milford Township. We are looking for representation from the rest of them, Village of Milford, Highland, Commerce, and White Lake. It does not have to be a board member or an elected official. You can appoint one of your staff members, because it's easy as just, we meet once a month during the day. Our meetings are usually, I think, 2 o'clock on the second Tuesday of the month. So if somebody could attend, just to kind of be the liaison, because it makes it kind of easier. We need to make sure people know that we're out there and what we're doing. And most people, I mean, you wouldn't know what we were doing until I come out here and say, hey, look, we sponsored this, we sponsored that. And we do have funds available for different programs. I reached out this year to all the principals of our middle schools and high schools. I reached out to the athletic directors and also the art and music departments and band departments, and we've gotten quite a few. Like I said, we cover, our big part of our thing is anti-vaping and mentoring. So those are 2 other programs. So if anybody has any kind of connection or anything that, you know, you can think of somebody that, hey, this person would be good for that, please send them our way. We would appreciate it. Again, thank you for your support.
I will kind of preempt a little bit. In the past, we've always budgeted $7,500 to youth services. We've decided to raise that by 1,000 in our new budget, which needs to be approved first, but I think it's well worth it. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
And I appreciate your bringing us to the forefront and representing them. So, all right, any other public comment? All right. If no other public comment, then we'll move on to new business. Item 9A. I'm just I'll go ahead and make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion to introduce zoning amendment Z-023 to rezone vacant parcels, South Milford Road, parcel numbers 1134-126-005 and 1134-126-007 from zoning OS, Office Services zoning district, to C1, local commercial zoning district. And the applicant and property owner is Highland Holdings LLC. This is a required introduction. Action will be taken at the next board meeting. So we'll do it at our next budget meeting. So that's a motion.
Frederick, seconds.
All right. Any questions or discussion? We'll certainly have more at the next meeting. So when we get an opportunity to vote on it. All right. Vote, please.
All right, Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe,
Howe, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Mr. Hamill, yes.
All right, motion carries.
Okay, the next item is budget amendment for capital improvement. Tammy, or Jennifer, you want to take that?
So this is one that basically projects in capital improvement fund for the parks have been postponed until next year. And they had been budgeted this year, and we're going to be budgeting for them next year. And having it budgeted in both years makes it look like we're spending the money twice. So we want to go ahead and take it out of the budget for this year, 2021. And then it'll look cleaner. So that's what this is all about.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion to approve the capital improvement budget amendment?
I'd move to approve the capital improvement budget amendment as stated.
Support from anybody?
Support Lewis.
All right. I think Tammy did a good job of describing it. If anybody has any other questions, now's the time. No questions, and let's vote.
Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe,
Howe, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Hamel,
Mr. Hamill, yes.
motion carries.
Okay, the next item is budget amendment. That's for fire wages. Somebody want to take that one and need to explain it?
I can, basically, we had already approved the budget for 2021 prior to approving the fire contract with the employees in the fire department. So this is just updating the budget to match what we approved in the contracts with the employees.
Union contract.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendment for fire wages.
Support, Howe.
Moved and supported. Any questions? Discussion? All right. Vote, please.
Mrs. Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe,
Howe, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Mr. Hamel, yes.
All right, motion carries.
Okay, next item is budget amendment for fire capital improvement. Another description there. Tammy, you want to do that one?
Yes, so we're just shifting between two lines here within the fire capital budget. We had approved a certain amount for Station 1 and Station 2, and we're just kind of shifting the balance there to cover the costs in Station 1.
This is mostly my fault. I failed to prep my 402 budget last year and for this year's budget.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendment for fire capital improvement.
Support, Howe?
Moved and supported. Vote, please.
Mr.
Howe,
Howe?
yes.
Mrs. Frederick?
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia?
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Hamel?
Hamel, yes.
All right, motion carries.
Okay, so guess what? Short meeting.
You weren't lying.
No, I wasn't lying. So we did good, huh, Lisa? So I did have one.
Like to thank everyone who's on the Zoom meeting tonight. Thank you, folks.
Yep, thanks for all the participants. Interesting thing last, I guess it was last Tuesday. Weeks gone by so fast, I can't believe it. I met out at the Robinson property on Hickory Ridge Road, with the Six Rivers representative, Brian Marzal, and the family. And we did a walk around the perimeter of the property. The perimeter of the property is 6,553 feet. So and that was not going right exactly to the edge, but so it's well over a mile. Just on a single trail walking around it. So it was a very, very nice piece of property, and I think has a lot of potential to be a pretty cool, real low impact park. So I incessantly teased Joe Schulteis, who also walked with us, that because of the traffic on Hickory Ridge Road, that we were going to make that part a motorcycle track and off-road vehicle track. And so he wants to kill me for saying that. But of course, I was joking because we want to keep it quiet. But he just said, make sure it's quiet on Saturdays. I said, well, the motorcycles, we'll make them electric or something. But yeah, be no motorcycles or any vehicles like that intended. So on that note, I'm going to say let's adjourn the meeting. And we'll move on to the next one, which will be October what?
18th, I think.
Yeah, 18th, Bradley's birthday.
It'll be a budget workshop, and there'll probably be a couple other items on there, I'm sure, to make sure that we keep things moving. One will be the zoning amendment we just introduced, to keep that ball rolling. So thanks for everybody showing up, and we'll see you soon.
Great to see everybody. Stay safe.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.